So in this video we're going to be learning how to create our own messenger bot. This is a topic that's already been covered on howCode, but last time we did it our bot was really basic, and in this video we're going to be learning how to use natural language processing so that we can do much more complicated queries, such as, for example, we could say how many people live in a specific city, and we could ask that question lots of different ways, and our natural language processing software will convert that into a standardized response that our bot can deal with. So let's get started. So the first thing we have to do is we have to create a Facebook page. So you can see here is the page I used in the last bot video series. So all you have to do is create a simple Facebook page. Then you want to go to Facebook developers and you want to create a new app. There is the old app we created. We're going to create a new one. The old app was called Bot, and we're going to create one called Better Bot. We're going to create the app, and now we're ready to set things up. So the first thing we need to do is get a server. So what I did was I went to DigitalOcean and I just created a server. I'm going to log into that server and then I'm going to put in the password. So now we want to install PHP. So to do that, we want to say apt install PHP 7.0-CLI. We're going to click enter. I've already done it, so it's already installed, but just install that. So if we use this command, php-s for server, put in the name of our server, and then we give it a port, which the default port for HTTP is port 80, and we click enter on that, the web server will start running, and now you can see the web server is running. And now what we want to do is set up our webhooks. So to set up a webhook, we just want to click on that, we want to type in the address of our bot, which has to be running over HTTPS, so we say https bot.francismcnamee.com. For verify token, I'll just put in something like my name, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to click all the subscription fields because at the minute we're going to assume we don't know which permissions we want. So we're just going to automatically click on them all. And then what we need to do is we need to install SSL onto our server. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Nginx, because the development PHP server doesn't actually support HTTPS. So we want to install Nginx, and then we want to proxy requests from Nginx to our PHP server. So now that Nginx is installed, I'm going to go to our bot.francismcnamee.com domain, refresh, and now you can see it says welcome to Nginx. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to proxy requests from Nginx to our PHP development server. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say nano/etc/nginx/ sites available/default, open that up, and I'm just going to delete this whole file, and I'm just going to paste in this code here. So what this code is it's just a sample Nginx configuration file that takes all requests on port 80, and it sends a 301 request which redirects them to port 443, which is the default port for SSL. Then we say the server name is our website, which is bot.francismcnamee.com. We turn SSL on, we tell it where the certificate is, we tell it some other stuff about what to do when it receives a request, and then down here is where we put the location. This is where the actual proxying happens, and you don't need to know how this works because it's not relevant to the tutorial series. It's just one of the things we have to do to be able to use our PHP development server when we're creating the bot. So what we need to do is get an SSL certificate. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to install Let's Encrypt. So I'm going to say apt install Let's Encrypt, and I've already installed it, so there we go, it's ready to go. And now what I want to do is stop Nginx. So to do that I say service Nginx stop, because it's running on port 80, and by doing that we won't be able to use Let's Encrypt. So now we want to type in Let's Encrypt, and then we type in cert only. To generate our certificate, we're going to put in the domain name we want to use, which is going to be bot.francismcnamee.com. If it's your first time opening up Let's Encrypt, you're going to have to agree to their terms, and you're going to have to put in an email address in case anything goes wrong and you need to hit the key again. But what we're going to do is hit enter when we put in the domain name, and our certificate has just been created. So I'm going to go to this folder, look at the files, go inside that folder, and now you can see we have our certificate and we have our private key. So I'm going to say copy cert.pem to /etc/ssl/certificate.pem. Run that. Now I'm going to say cp priv key to etc/ssl/private key.pem, and that should be that. So now if I go to Nginx and scroll down, you can see we've just put the certificate and the private key in the folder that we told Nginx to look in. So now what I'm going to do is run Nginx again. So I'm going to say service Nginx start. So now back in the home directory, what I'm going to do is type in php-S to start the server. Then I'm going to type in localhost, and I'm going to put in port 8080 because that's where Nginx is proxying to. Now I'm going to click enter. That is the server running, and now I'm going to go visit the page. And now you can see we're running over HTTPS. We have the lock icon and we have the default page on the PHP development web server. Facebook will work, so now if I click verify, we're still going to get an error, but if I but you can see the error is different. It's because, and we're getting this error because we're missing the intermediate certificates, because Facebook can't guarantee that our certificate is valid because we're missing the intermediate certificate. So that's really easy to fix. So to fix that, all we have to do is say copy full-chain.pem, because that's our certificate file, and it also has our intermediate certificate stored in the chain file. So we're going to copy that file to /etc/ssl/certificate.pem. We're going to press enter there, and there we can see it has run, and we're going to say service nginx restart to reload the certificates. And then now if I just start the PHP server one more time, hit enter, the server is running, click verify, and if we hover the mouse over, you can see that the SSL error has disappeared, but we're getting the error because the default 404 not found page is being displayed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to cd/var/www. We're going to see that we have one HTML folder, and what I'm going to do is just type in rm-r HTML just to remove that folder, and then we're going to create a new folder called bot.francismcnamee.com, and we're going to use this to store our code, and then we're going to create a file called index.php, and it's going to say hello world. Now we run that server and we click verify and save. We're going to get one more error, but you can see the error now is because the expected value doesn't equal the number Facebook wanted it to say. That's just because they send us some code and we have to send it back to them to verify that it's us. So we can fix that really easily. You can see here it is here. They're signing it in a get request and it says hub.challenge, and here is the number that they wanted us to return. So all we have to do, since it's a get request, is just open index.php, create a PHP block, and then we want to say echo our get variable, and we want to access hub_challenge, and we want to save that, and it's hub.challenge in the URL, but in PHP we want to put in hub_challenge. So if we run the server now and we click verify and save, this will finally work. There we can see it has just disappeared, and therefore it's working. And then now if I refresh, you can see we get nothing printed out, but everything's working as we would expect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go to the bot's Facebook page. We're going to click add a button, and we're going to click get in touch, send a message, and we're going to click add that button. This just allows us an easy way to send messages to the bot. We click test button. Now you can see here's how we send messages, and before this will work, what we have to do is just click select a page, and we want to click on to the best bot ever page, and by doing this Facebook will send requests to our webhook every time we send a message. So that's probably all we have time for in this video. In the next video, we're going to be learning how to respond to users. We're also going to be learning how to use the natural language processing software to make more intelligent responses to users. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.